Today, I want to give you an update on the incident that we are investigating. First, I want to identify a few folks up here. I have John Skada, who is the Assistant Special Agent in charge for the FBI Austin, and I have Brian Garner, who is the Resident Agent in charge for Austin's ATF branch as well. We've got a multi-operational investigation going on with our federal partners here. This all started this morning with a call at 6:55 this morning. It came in as a nature unknown urgent call, and we received several calls to our 911 dispatch center that there had been an explosion. The callers were reporting an explosion, and they also reported that there was a victim that appeared to have traumatic injuries as well. Again, that call came in at 6:55 this morning, and we assigned units at 6:57 and had them en route. We had the first medical units arrive on scene at 7:03, and they did find someone who had experienced traumatic injuries from the explosive event that we're investigating behind us. That individual was transported to a local hospital and succumbed to their wounds at 7:48 this morning, pronounced deceased at a local area hospital. APD units arrived on scene, and again, it was apparent that we had an explosive incident that had occurred, and what you're seeing behind us is a very detailed investigation into that incident. What we know right now is that some type of a device exploded at this residence this morning, and again, causing traumatic injuries that took an individual's life. We have no information right now that makes us believe this is anything beyond an isolated incident, but that's why we have all of our partners here to ensure that it is not. I know you all will ask whether this is terrorism related. Again, there is no information that we have right now to believe this is anything other than an isolated incident, but we're working diligently to understand this incident and to understand why it had occurred. So we have our partners from the FBI, from the ATF, from the postal inspectors, as well as our own bomb squad and fire department working on this incident. It is going to take us quite a while here today to work through this scene, to do the post-blast analysis, as well as to do an investigation into the death that occurred here today on top of that. So again, we're in the very early stages of this investigation. Everything we have is preliminary at this time. I am going to open it up here for questions in just a minute, but I do want you to realize, again, there's not a lot of additional information we can give out based on the stage of the investigation we're in. But I again want to emphasize, based on what we know right now, we have no reason to believe this is anything beyond an isolated incident that took place at this residence, and no reason to believe that this is in any way linked to a terrorist act. But we are not making any assumptions. We're conducting a thorough investigation to rule that out.
Can you talk more about the FBI's involvement and exactly what they're doing here? I saw them talking with some neighbors, maybe interviewing some people nearby.
Well, I've got the Assistant Special Agent in charge, but we partner with the FBI and with the ATF. Again, we're not making any assumptions that this is anything other than what we believe it to be, but we won't leave any stone unturned. So the FBI is here in case we need their assistance in ruling out anything based on part of a larger scheme.
So you say you can from that pipe bomb from neighbors from the police plan and pipe bomb.
Again, this is an ongoing dynamic investigation, and part of the investigation is what was the cause of the explosion, what type of a device may it have been, and so we cannot confirm at this time what caused the explosion. We're very early on in the investigation. We do have all of our experts from both the federal agencies and here locally with the Austin Police Department, and that is one of the very early things that we want to confirm is what was the cause of the explosion.
When you say you don't have any reasons to believe this is anything other than an isolated incident, are you saying that this individual wasn't randomly targeted? Is there reason to believe this is isolated in that nature, or?
Again, what we don't see here is any indication right now that this is anything part of a larger scheme. What we do look at is the people that are involved in the incident and what might have caused this to happen here today. Based on the early stages of the investigation, we do not see anything that makes us believe this is part of a larger operation or anything related to a terrorist act.
When you say it's not terrorism, is this, are y'all looking at this like a homicide investigation in any way? Like someone put this device there?
Yes, as you will also see, the police department's homicide unit is here, and we are investigating this at a homicide because we do have an individual that died as a result of this incident. So it is, at this stage, is believed to be a homicide, and we're trying to understand what led up to it and what the device was that may have caused it.
We saw dogs out here earlier, people closing off this whole area. What are they looking for?
You know, one of the first things you always want to make sure is that you have a secure area in which we can all work. And so those dogs that you saw were part of our explosive ordnance team, our bomb units, and they're just making sure that, number one, we locate any evidence that might have escaped the immediate area due to the explosive blast, as well as making sure the rest of the scene is secure, and we have done so.
Have you identified any person of interest?
No, this is the very early stages of the investigation, and again, we have not made way towards any identification.
And you can't talk about the actual device that may have exploded, but since the postal inspector is here, can you talk at all or confirm at all that the device came in the mail or had anything to do with the delivery to the home?
That, again, in an abundance of caution, trying to understand this, we reach out to all of our providers that deliver mail in this area, both the U.S. Postal Service and those that do it privately, because that is one of the things we want to know is, was there a package delivered to this residence in the past several days? Because we still are trying to work to understand what happened, what the device was, and where it came from. So that's why we bring in our federal partners, also from the Postal Service, and we work with other private delivery services to understand whether or not there were packages delivered to this residence. And that's underway right now, trying to make that determination.
Was there a reason why a dog was removed from the premises?
That's probably the dog from the residence, I believe, and we're going to obviously go into this residence and search this residence, and we don't want to have, if it's a family dog, we don't want to have them out in the neighborhood escaping.
Last question.
Was anybody else there at the time? Was any other injuries?
There are no other injuries related to this incident.
It did happen on the front porch.
From the evidence that we see right now, we do believe that the explosion occurred on the front porch. Thank you.